Hi guys, it's Jonelle. Today we're going to go over the invitation or notice of meeting. And before we start, I just want to touch on a few things. Make sure that when you guys are scheduling your IEP meetings, schedule them out far enough in advance that the IEP due date can include all of the stakeholders, including the parent, but at a mutually agreed upon time and place. Typically, we try to shoot to have these annuals and tries within 2 weeks. For exceptional cases like BERs and a BER's behavior emergency report, as well as an MDR, manifestation determination review, make sure that you're contacting your PS because those ones are exceptional cases, but we like to have them with at least 2 weeks notice. We do have a lot of elementary school teachers who are working with their admin to schedule all of their IEPs throughout the year at the beginning of the year, which makes the timeline so much easier. Speaking of timelines, please make sure that you are paying attention to what your timelines are and that you're staying in compliance. We as the SPED department have created a 60-day, we call it a 60-day timeline or compliance timeline, which will be able to give you a little bit more information. I'll provide the link underneath the video, but it gives you kind of what to expect the dates to be if you did send out an assessment plan. When is the 60 days up for you guys? So just make sure that you are following the calendar and the IEP timelines for compliance, all right? So here you're going to mark what type of meeting it is. The IEP can be held no more than 60 days after the district has received the signed assessment plan back from the parent with consent. Okay. You have annual and triennial. These IEPs must be held on or before the annual or triennial review date. If they are close to one another, you always have to have the IEP with the earliest date. You cannot pass one and hold it by the triennial. So, for example, if I have an IEP that's due in an annual IEP that's due in September, but I have a triennial that's due in October, I cannot skip the September IEP and hold everything in October. You would need to bring the latter date up forward, okay? Transition planning, this information will allow for students who are going to be 16, and we had gone over the transition plan. So 15 and a half going on to 16, you're going to be marking transition or transitioning when they are going from maybe elementary into middle school or junior high into high school, okay? Pre-expulsion, interim would be something that you would mark for a 30-day IEP or if you're having another type. So just make sure that you're indicating which type of IEP you're having. So other, like if a parent is requesting to discuss, student's progress, you can mark other and then parent requested IEP. All right. As we scroll down, please remember that the meeting notice is required for all IEP meetings and should be provided to the parent with all of this information in there. So the addresses that are listed here, they do have buttons that you can check. So parent one address, just make sure that that the information that's in here is accurate because it goes off of the info and eligibility page from SEIS. And if the information there is incorrect, then this will auto-populate from there. So just make sure that you check those. Okay. The date that you are actually writing the notice of meeting. This area is when you are scheduling the IEP for. What date are you holding it? What time? And it is okay to put a start time and an end time. Okay. Where on your school or at your school you'll be holding this meeting. We do have sometimes where we are holding meetings at the district office, but mainly you guys will be holding them on your school sites and what room they will be holding the meeting at. Okay. And this section is going to indicate who is to be anticipated to attend the IEP meeting. So we always have the admin, special education teacher, that's usually our case manager, the general education teacher, the student, if they are able to attend, they usually start attending probably around junior high. Your school psychologist, if necessary, they do need to be there if it's a triennial or an initial or a manifestation determination. Specialist, if there is a DIS or itinerant provider, as well as any other specialists that can be listed. So you would just make sure to mark other, and then it will brighten up, and then you can go ahead and adjust it. But if you don't check it, it'll be gray and you cannot type in there. All right, so just make sure that if they are anticipated to attend, indicate so on the meeting notice. All right. When we talk about the people who need to attend the IEP meeting, we talk about the IEP team all the time. Just make sure that you understand that the IEP team is comprised of the parent and guardian, student, if appropriate, relative service providers, admin, gen ed teacher, and if necessary, an interpreter. All right. This area, if you'd like further information about your procedural safeguards, then you're going to put your information as a case manager in here. Your name, this is going to be grayed out. It'll already be auto-populated. The title of your position, as well as the phone number where the family can contact you. That was a little too many fives. Your information, your case manager information. Okay? And this says, please complete and sign this form and return to, and you would usually put your name as the case manager so that the family knows once they're done signing this, then who they would be turning that into. Okay? So this section is where the parents are going to indicate either they're going to attend the meeting, if they plan to attend the meeting and bring any additional people. So they would list in here who they plan on attending. Sometimes we do have them bring in lawyers, we do have them bring in advocates, or they do have just additional family members. So they would list that in there. There is a box for, I do not plan to attend the meeting, but I am available by teleconference. So if they do check that, then you can meet via teleconference. I require assistance of an interpreter. So if they let you know that they need an interpreter, then you need to go and fill out, and I'll put that at the bottom of the video also, the Google form link to request a translator/interpreter for your meetings. Okay, and the directions are inside there. And they'll let you know what language, because that'll also be asked on the form. I request a different time or place. Please call me at, and the parent will put their information. Again, these meetings are through a mutually agreed upon date and time. So if the parent can't make a time work, then they'll send this back, and you guys have to try and attempt at a different date and time to hold the meeting. Okay? And this section, I give consent for the district to invite other agency personnel to attend the meeting if secondary transition is being addressed. This is if a student's going to be, maybe the team members are going to have TPP, Transition Partnership Program, join and discuss what types of programs are available for the student, or maybe the student's already working with the Department of Rehabilitation and they're going to be attending. So be aware, if the parent does check this, that any agencies that you're working for or with for the student's post-secondary transition, then we would want them to be invited as well. No, I can't attend the meeting, but hereby give my permission to be held without me, and I understand that the IEP and related documents will be provided to me for my signature, and I agree to return them in a timely manner. That's fine. Sometimes we do have parents who are unable to attend, and if they do check that, it is okay for us to send home a copy of the IEP, have them sign, and then return it back. The last box here says I cannot attend, but I will send blank as my representative. Please remember that if they do send somebody else to represent them at the meeting and to hear kind of what's going on, the parent or the adult with the educational rights still needs to be the one to sign for consent. So let's just say that mom is sending her sister to come in because mom has to work. The sister can sign in participation of the IEP meeting, but cannot sign in consent to. They would bring all the paperwork back to mom, and then mom would have to sign for consent. All right. Just make sure that when parents are filling in these areas, that you're paying attention to what's being checked. We've had parents mark things in the past, and the teacher maybe just is not reading correctly, or just happened to skip over it, and a meeting was missed, or they didn't realize that the parent was bringing an advocate. Okay. Usually, if a parent is going to record, they will write it on here too. But remember that if they are recording, and it's audio recording, they cannot video record a meeting. But if they are audio recording the meeting, they'll need to provide at least 24-hour notice. And if they record, then the district will need to record as well. Okay? Once they've indicated which area or which box, then they're just going to need to sign and date for, and then turn it into the case manager. So as a case manager, you're going to hold on to that and make sure that you've confirmed with everybody on the team that parent is able to attend the meeting. It's confirmed, and you will keep this original form that parent has signed and attach it to the IEP. Okay? All right, guys.